On my second date with my now husband, BB, he went all out. My husband is originally from Chicagoland, and crazy, I actually lived there for a summer too. So knowing this, he decided this was gonna be a Chicago-themed date. First part of this date was getting some good Chicago-style food, and there is no better place to go than Portillo's. Italian beef, hot dogs, fries, and they even have their notorious chocolate cake shake. I could order a ton at this place, but it's my second date, and I'm still getting to know this guy, so I decide to order an Italian beef sandwich, and because I don't want him to know how many fries I can really throw down, I agree to split a large fry with him. Bad idea. But I'm possibly falling in love, so who cares? We sit down with our food, and as we start to eat, I realize I need to use the restroom. I leave my food at the table, including our completely filled large fry. Now here's where I want your help in the story. You choose what happens next. Option A, BB leaves all the fries for me to enjoy. Or option B, BB ate all of the fries. Okay, which will you choose? Option A or option B? Let's throw it to your host and see what you choose. When I come back from being away for maybe 2 minutes, I am shocked at what I see. BB ate all of the fries, no mercy. Now, I really like this guy, so I'm trying to just let it go, and I hold back in this moment and keep enjoying the date. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion on this in a sec, but in your groups right now, share. If you're on a date and you agree to share fries, do you eat half of them or do you eat all of them? If you said eat all of them, you should be friends with my husband. If you said eat half of them, then yes, I'm with you. If you agree to share fries, you agree to share, not dominate. BB and I left the restaurant to go to a Cubs spring training game, and on the way to the game, I said, I will never share fries with you again. And guys, I've stood by it. Been married to this guy for years, and he knows that if we go out, we're not sharing food, and we are especially not sharing fries. The only way my husband and I know this about each other, though, is because we've spent time together, like a lot of time, so we know each other. We all get this. Each of us have relationships in our life that matter. Maybe we're dating someone, we have a best friend, or we're close with a cousin or family member. We've stayed up late sending funny TikToks to each other, met up for boba or Dutch way too much, or spent a ton of time at sports practices together. We're close to these people because we've spent time with them. It can be easy to know how to grow our friendships and relationships here on earth, but what about when it comes to our relationship with God? We can't see him, and a lot of times we don't verbally hear from him. So what does that look like? It looks like a thing called quiet time. And we need this time. Here's why. When we become quiet with God, we quiet the voices that are not God. We quiet insecurities, self-doubt, shame, pride, and we become rooted in what he says, not what the world says. We see the importance of this time in Luke 24. At this point in the story, Jesus lived a perfect life on this earth, chose to die for the sins of the world, and because he was God, he resurrected from the grave. Now, in his time on earth, he hung out with a group of dudes called the disciples. And as you can imagine, when Jesus died, they were sad. They lost their friend, and more importantly, they physically lost the man they knew was actually God. In Luke 24, some of the disciples are talking, processing everything that happened with Jesus' death. And a man joins them in their conversation. This man is Jesus, but they don't know it's him. They're still stuck in their emotions. Jesus reminds them through scripture that Jesus had to die to fulfill what the Bible said would happen all along. He encourages them that Jesus dying was actually a fulfillment of what the Bible said, and it's a good thing. The disciples are comforted by this man, and he leaves. As soon as he leaves, they realize that was Jesus. And it says in Luke 24:32, they asked each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us?" The disciples' hearts were burning within them. And why were they burning? Because Jesus simply read scripture to them. The confusion went away. The doubt disappeared, all because they heard scripture. And the same can be true in our lives. Anxiety from school lessons, confidence around our friends increases. And our purpose in this life is affirmed when we open scripture, when we take the time to have quiet time. Quiet time doesn't have to be hard. Let's keep it simple and narrow it down to a time, a place, and what to read. So when's the best time for you to read? Are you a morning person, night person, or are you even the person who likes to read at lunch? Doesn't matter what kind of person you are, just choose a time you're going to read and be consistent with it each day. Okay, you have your time you're reading. Now, where are you reading? Is it in your room where you can concentrate? On the bus where you like to zone out anyways? Or on a bench waiting for your parents to pick you up from practice? Lastly, where to start? Let's start with the Bible, and let's start somewhere in the New Testament. The New Testament is the second half of the Bible. If you're looking for a specific book to read in the New Testament, we recommend starting with the book of John. When we get in the rhythm of having a consistent quiet time, it's one of the best, if not the best, things we do each day. We'll soon see that the loud voices around us shouting false statements about who we are or what our life will be come to a silence. As we spend quiet time with God, His voice becomes not so quiet, speaking life into our hearts and our future. Let's go get quiet with God this week and choose time with Him.